At Eide Bailly, we're in business because you are in business. Our team of more than 2,500 CPAs and business advisors is focused on one thing: you. Eide Bailly. What inspires you inspires us.
Most things in life, I've had to figure out for myself. How to make money, how to write a resume, how to talk to boys. But when it came to signing up for health insurance, I had a hard time figuring it out on my own. Turns out, I didn't have to. Covered California was made by Californians for Californians. They have experts to walk you through the process and financial help for people who need it. Enrollment ends January 31st. Go to coveredca.com. Covered California. This way to health insurance.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Jeffrey Epstein Show. I'm your host, Bobbycapucci, and this is a bonus episode. So Bill Clinton has said that he was only on Epstein's plane 4 times, and he was never on the island. And when we're talking about somebody who is such a pillar of the community, somebody who has never been accused of being a liar or charged with perjury, even such as Bill Clinton, we should just take him at his word, right? Wrong. Bill Clinton is an absolute BS artist, a liar, a grifter, and many other things. And his boy Doug Band putting him on blast. Remember, according to Clinton and his spokesman, he had never ever been to the island. We know that's bullshit. We have people who've seen him on the island. We know that Virginia has said he was on the island. And we know that he's been on that plane 26 times. Hell, we saw a picture of him getting a nice shoulder massage from Shantae Davies in some airport somewhere. So please, stop with the cognitive dissonance, stop with the nonsense, and let's face the music, okay? Bill Clinton and Jeffrey Epstein were very, very close, personally and professionally. Now, I'm not saying that Bill Clinton was involved in abusing any of these girls with Jeffrey Epstein. Nobody's come out and said that yet. What I'm saying is Bill Clinton most assuredly enabled Jeffrey Epstein's behavior without a shadow of a doubt. The fact that they were so close that Jeffrey Epstein thought that he could have a painting hanging on his wall of an ex-president in that blue dress and them red pumps tells you all you need to know about Jeffrey Epstein and Bill Clinton's relationship and how close they were. And now Doug Band, well, Mr. Moneyman himself, another man who jet-setted it around the world, him, Ron Burkle, all of these guys together with Bill Clinton. And all of them scummier than the next. Well, I wonder how Bill Clinton and his supporters are going to respond to this. Even Doug Band puts you on the island. Is Doug Band a liar too? Is that where you guys are going to come out and tell us that Doug Band has no idea what occurred? He wasn't close to Bill Clinton? Is that going to be the MO here? Because I think it's about time that Bill Clinton gets the same treatment that Acosta got. I think it's about time that he gets the same treatment that Joe Exotic of the Windsor family is getting. And I think it's certainly about time that Bill Clinton starts answering some goddamn hard questions here. Our article is from the New York Post. Headline: Ex-Bill Clinton aide Doug Band dishes on family ties to Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. This article was authored by Aaron Fees. Former President Bill Clinton did visit deep-pocketed perv Jeffrey Epstein's infamous pedophile island, despite his camp's insistence to the contrary, a one-time top advisor says in a blistering new tell-all. We knew that Clinton was on this island. And now that Doug Band is even coming out and providing receipts, boy, this can't be good news for the Clinton camp. This certainly can't be the kind of news that they're looking forward to. But the one thing that the Clintons have that these other folks don't have are all of their high-placed contacts in the legacy media. The legacy media has been protecting and coddling the Clintons forever. And it's no wonder why. Members of their staff have now taken jobs in all of these legacy media outlets. They get favorable coverage, favorable treatment. Meanwhile, Bill Clinton was palling around on these planes with Jeffrey Epstein and abused girls, point blank, period. Does that mean that Bill Clinton was engaging in the abuse? I don't have that direct evidence, so I'm not going to sit here and blow smoke up your ass and act like some of these other people with their, unconfirmed conspiracies. That's not what I do here. But I will tell you this. This smarmy son of a bitch was most certainly on the island. He was at Zorro Ranch, and he was elsewhere. That has been confirmed by not only eyewitnesses, but now by one of the biggest bagmen for the Democrats, one of Bill Clinton's confidants, one of his boys, one of his inner circle, has also confirmed it. So now the ball's in your court, legacy media. When does the full court press begin? Clinton made the trip in January 2003, one of dozens of times he flew aboard Epstein's private jet, the Lolita Express, former close aide Doug Band claimed in a wide-ranging interview with Vanity Fair. So dozens, okay? That would mean multiple dozens, right? We have 26 that we know about. Were there more? Probably. Were the books cooked when it comes to flight logs? Probably. Were shortcuts taken? Probably. So now we have Bill Clinton being placed at not only the mansion in New York, but Doug Band himself is saying that Bill Clinton was on the island. What more do you folks need? What more do you want? This would be no different than if, say, I don't know, insert money man for Trump here came out and blasted Trump. It would be the same thing, and the legacy media would be all over it like a shark feeding frenzy. But yet Bill Clinton gets put in the spotlight once again with Jeffrey Epstein, and the legacy media has their mouths wired shut once again. It's an absolute travesty. Band, who rose from Bubba's body man during his second term in office to the most trusted advisor of his post-presidential life, told the mag that he tried for years to keep Epstein at a distance, but that Clinton just couldn't stay away. Of course he couldn't. Jeffrey Epstein was living the kind of life that Bill Clinton dreamed of. Bill Clinton was most certainly a fellow traveler, and Bill Clinton has been accused of sexual assault by numerous women outside of Jeffrey Epstein's circle. So while I'm not saying he's abused anybody with Jeffrey Epstein, I still think he's a dirtbag, I still think he's a scumbag, and I still think he's escaped justice all of these years. You want to talk about going after an ex-president when they get out of office? You're going to let a war criminal like George Bush walk around, and you're going to let this sexual abuser, Bill Clinton, walk around without any sort of media press? Come on now, guys. Get your shit together, all right? Though ignorant at the time of Epstein's sex crimes, Band said he knew the financier, pedophile, was bad news ever since Clinton's now infamous 2002 trip aboard Epstein's so-called Lolita Express. Photos were unearthed earlier this year of the trip, including a shot of Clinton receiving a massage from Shantae Davies, who later accused Epstein of rape. Clinton has not been accused of any sexual misconduct regarding Epstein survivors. Well, I don't know about you, but it is not a good look for anybody to be getting a neck massage from a girl who is being trafficked by one of the most prolific traffickers in American history. Not a good look for any ex-president. Switch out Bill Clinton and add any other official to that picture and ask yourselves what the legacy media does then. This is such an indictment on the legacy media, folks. And I don't mean to beat a dead horse here, but it's very apparent that their motivations in this case have nothing to do with bringing the survivors justice. Their motivations from the very beginning were trying to use this as a political cudgel. But boy, is that going to backfire on them. It's like when they lifted up the cudgel to come smashing down on their opponents, they smacked themselves square in their own face. Band also recalled for the Vanity Fair piece that Epstein made outlandish boasts during the humanitarian trip, including that he invented the concept of the derivatives trading market. Yeah, that definitely sounds like Epstein. Dude was running all sorts of BS stories, right? He sure had a high opinion of himself. Well, guess what? He was a moron, all right? An absolute moron. Sure, he was good at laundering money, but he was not some genius. He was not someone who created the derivatives and trading market, that's for sure. Bann said he encouraged Clinton to sever ties with Epstein after that, but that in early 2003, the former president visited Epstein's private retreat, Little St. James, also known as Pedophile Island. Boy, that sure does add up with what we've heard already from eyewitness accounts, huh? Sure does add up with what we have heard from different people who were on that island. Doesn't look good for Bill Clinton. And if there is ever some sort of actual journalism done here, I can only imagine what will be unearthed. This could be a huge story. I mean, a gigantic story. Imagine taking down an ex-president because of his ties to a sex trafficker. You're telling me there's no investigative journalists out there that have a ton of resources that wouldn't be interested in this case? Something stinks, folks. Something really, really stinks. In an unusual move, given their close working relationship at the time, Bann said he declined to join Clinton on the trip. Now, I'm not a fan of Doug Bann at all. I think he's a scumbag operative, a K Street kind of scuzzball, but I don't see why he would lie about this, right? I mean, it's obvious that Bill Clinton and Jeffrey Epstein were super close. This is just another bit of evidence pointing to that fact, and we all know that Bill Clinton is a liar. The question is he ever going to be held accountable for it? Meanwhile, you have Joe Biden over here talking about Hillary Clinton as the UN ambassador. You have Joe Biden's whole entire cabinet inhabited by members of the Council on Foreign Relations. It's unbelievable to me. And I really hope that this Biden administration pursues this case correctly. But I will tell you this. Doug Bann coming out against Clinton here, this is a huge blight for Bill Clinton. This is a big problem. The Clinton camp insisted to Vanity Fair that the former president had never set foot on the island and provided detailed travelogue entries of the period in question that did not contain a visit, the mag said. Oh yeah, because those documents can't be doctored by an ex-president and his band of merry men, can it? Give me a break. Just give me an absolute break already. This is what Vanity Fair accepts from them? There's no pushback, right? They just accept the narrative because, well, it's Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton. We don't want to cause any waves. We don't want to give the other side a political cudgel. I'm so tired of it. I am so tired of the tribalism at every turn. Enough is enough, okay? Epstein, who hanged himself in his lower Manhattan jail cell in August 2019 while awaiting trial, allegedly, also donated $25,000 to the Clinton Foundation philanthropic group in 2006. And we know that Gerald Lefcourt has said that Jeffrey Epstein donated $6.5 million to the Clinton Global Initiative as well. And we know that Gerald Lefcourt is a high-profile attorney. He is somebody that is very locked in when it comes to Jeffrey Epstein, and you can find that statement in a Yahoo article. Just Google Gerald Lefcourt, Epstein, Clinton Initiative, and you'll see for yourself. It's absolutely absurd to think that Jeffrey Epstein and Bill Clinton do not have supreme ties, that they were not locked in, and that Bill Clinton did not enable Jeffrey Epstein. It is just absurd to think of that. Bann said the family also maintained close ties to Maxwell, who is currently awaiting her own trial on charges she groomed underage girls whom she and Epstein would go on to abuse. Maxwell has pleaded not guilty. Well, there's no doubt that Maxwell was close to all of these people. She was at Chelsea Clinton's weddings, for Lord's sake. I mean, do you really think that those invitations just show up at your door? What about the invitation to the intimate dinner in L.A. with Jeffrey Epstein? I mean, with Bill Clinton that Maxwell had. What, in the whole city of Los Angeles, Maxwell's the only dinner guest that he could come up with? Stop it. Stop with the cognitive dissonance and stop with the bias, okay? It is rather obvious what is going on here. The legacy media is still providing cover for Jeffrey Epstein and Bill Clinton, and they refuse to do the legwork. Chelsea Clinton, the former president's only child, maintained a friendship with Maxwell, inviting Maxwell to her 2010 wedding, long after Epstein's misdeeds were public knowledge, in what Bann characterized as a grab at high society lifestyle. Well, look, she invited her, right? Yes or no? Yes. Okay? But did you just invite her because? They were close, folks. It doesn't take, a forensic scientist here to break this down and reconstruct it. You're not getting invited to the wedding if you're not close. End of story. And Ghislaine Maxwell and the Clintons? Very close. Even after Jeffrey Epstein's arrest. The first one. Even after the non-prosecution agreement that Ghislaine Maxwell was named in. You mean to tell me the ex-president of the United States has no idea? I'm sorry, I don't buy it. Ghislaine had access to yachts and nice homes, Bann told Vanity Fair. Chelsea needed that. Oh, of course she did. She was using Ghislaine Maxwell as a vehicle, right? You want to talk about quid pro quo, huh? You give me my insertion into high society and, you'll have access to my dad, no worries. Oh, what, now we don't want to talk about quid pro quo anymore? I thought that was one of the reoccurring themes. A spokesperson for the Clinton family told the magazine that the two were only connected through a mutual friendship with Gateway founder Ted Waite. Oh, yeah, I'm sure. It was just about the Ted Waite relationship. I mean, Ghislaine Maxwell was just a side piece on Ted Waite's arm. She didn't talk, she didn't engage, they didn't exchange numbers, none of that happened. Give me a break already. Is anyone buying this shit? It wasn't until 2015 that Chelsea became aware of the horrific allegations against Ghislaine Maxwell, and she hopes that all the victims find justice, the spokesperson said. Chelsea was friendly with her because of Maxwell's relationship with a dear friend. When that relationship ended, Chelsea's relationship with her ended as well. So Chelsea Clinton's a follower is what you're telling us? If her friends jumped off a building, she'd follow them down. She doesn't have her own, her own friendship meter where she decides who her friends are, who they aren't. If you're a friend of my friend, then you're my friend. But the second you're not friends anymore, we're not friends anymore either. What is this, Bad Girls? Give me a break. This is such BS. Anyone who buys this shit is a moron. Straight up, point blank, period. In October 2011, as his own relationship with Clinton was rapidly disintegrating, Bann orchestrated a campaign to bar Maxwell from all events surrounding the family. I knew in telling everyone to stop including Ghislaine that Chelsea and her father would be very angry, he said. It made it harder for them to justify being close to her. He's outing them right here. Bann needs to go under oath. He needs to be brought in under oath and he needs to give a statement about Bill Clinton and Bill Clinton's relationship with Maxwell and Epstein. Bill Clinton also needs to go under oath. And if he lies and perjures himself, again, he needs to be arrested. That's the point I'm at here, folks. All of these people need to be deposed. The second Trump's out of office, him as well. All of them. Bann's history with the family dates back to the Clintons' second term in the Oval Office, when he caught on as the president's body man while studying toward a Georgetown University law degree at night. So, Doug Bann gets brought in, doesn't even have a law degree, he's going to night law school, and he's Bill Clinton's body man, huh? I wonder what else Mr. Bann brought to the table. After Clinton departed the White House with a bruised reputation in the wake of his sex scandal with intern Monica Lewinsky, Bann followed him into his private life, helping him rehab his image and build a philanthropic empire, including the Clinton Global Initiative. Oh, where did you get the money for that, Mr. Bann? How much money did Mr. Epstein pony up for that? And what did he get on the flip side? What sort of access to politicians? What sort of access to the higher rung of power was received for that $6.5 million? But over the years, Clinton and Band's relationship grew strained, resulting in them ultimately parting ways in 2012. Speaking out at length in Vanity Fair for the first time since leaving, Band described Clinton world as like a cult. Yeah, the Clintonistas are so bought into the Clintons' mystique that they will lie, steal, cheat, and do whatever else for them. And they've had this network built around them forever. And all of their operatives are burrowed within bureaucracies throughout the government. It's a sick state of affairs, folks, and this is what happens when we keep sending the same scumbag retread incumbents back to Washington, D.C. when they don't deserve it. It's hard to get yourself out and difficult to see outside of it. And it's even harder to understand that when you're inside, he told the mag. What is this, Nexium? Was the Clintonista world like being in Nexium? Where are they getting Clinton brands? Is there like a caricature face of Bill Clinton branded on the Clintonistas? I mean, it's absurd. It's absurd that anybody would fall under the spell of scumbags like Hillary Clinton or Bill Clinton. In pushing back against the article, in its entirety, the Clinton family characterized Band as a bitter ex-staffer who abused the relationship to further his own financial gains. Sure sounds like the same thing Trump says when one of his insiders departs, huh? Almost like they all use the same defense book. No staffer has ever used their role to serve their interests as much as Doug Band, the statement read. For many years, he was a valuable member of President Clinton's team and supportive of Clinton Foundation programs. Until he wasn't. He put the foundation at risk by leveraging a world-class philanthropy for his own financial gain. It's a disappointing story, as it is a sad one and ultimately why Doug Band and the Clintons parted ways. So Doug Band was a grifter. He stole from the Clintons. He used his position for his own financial gain. Sure sounds like everything that the Clintons do all the time. And if he was using the Clinton playbook, well, why wouldn't he do this? Folks, Bill Clinton has some trouble coming down the road. I've been saying it for quite some time. Now that the election is over, now that Trump is going to be out of the picture, and now that the legacy media is not going to have anything to talk about, perhaps they'll get around to airing out their boy, bitch-ass Bill Clinton. If you'd like to contact me, you can do that at Bobbycapucci at protonmail.com. That's BOBBYCAPUCCI at protonmail.com. You can also find me on Twitter at BOBBY_CAPUCCI. All of the links for this episode are in the description box, including the link for the GoFundMe. All right, everybody, I will be back later on with the Daily Drop, where we will get into the 11th Circuit Court's hearing today and detail a little bit more about what occurred. Until then, folks, enjoy your day.
Most days start early, some days end late. But your business is moving forward. In California, you don't have to do it on your own. At Eide Bailly, we're in business because you are in business. From our work with startups to Fortune 500 companies, our trusted team of CPAs and business advisors starts each day focused on one thing: you. Eide Bailly. What inspires you inspires us.
My internet came with so many hidden monthly fees, I developed allergies. So now if I'm streaming, I'm sniffling. Or scrolling, I'm sneezing.
Don't get fees. Get Frontier and get no hidden monthly fees on our super fast 500 meg internet for just $59.99 a month plus taxes and government charges.
At first I thought it was pollen. Turns out, I'm just allergic to wasting money.
Frontier. Don't go it alone. Go to Frontier.com for complete offer details. Services subject to availability and all applicable terms and conditions.